clue. Wet. Het. Tanap. Sunev. Yam iman si manawura. Aye. Yar. W. Tup.
All right, I know y'all can hear us on whatchamacallit. All right, peace and blessings to Michelle, Kevin Gordon. I know y'all can hear us on. Okay, Kevin. We got Chris New. We got Cages. Peace and blessings, family. Welcome to Spiritual Seeing News. Okay, y'all can hear us. That's good. Now, first we're going to get into a little news. Then we're going to get into the topic. We're going to talk about, as African indigenous traditional healers, the importance of constructing rituals or spells, whatever y'all want to call them. We call them rituals. Basically doing rituals being indigenous to the land, okay? But one of the things I wanted to talk about first is, for one, y'all need to pay attention to what's going on. Now, the weather's crazy here, y'all. Y'all know we hearing all kind of,
crazy sounds
and noises with, the thunder, all kind of stuff is going on, okay? So y'all pay attention to that because that's something that we're thinking is just thunder, but it's a little bit more. Now, y'all heard about that boat. Now, this is the second time I heard about somebody black dying in the water. Y'all heard about the boat accident that happened here. No, where was it at? Somewhere.
It wasn't here?
It was a duck boat.
Yeah, a duck boat went underwater.
There was 9 black folks that died, 1 that survived. But my thing is, if your ass don't know how to swim, don't go in the water. First of all, why didn't y'all have life jackets on in the water? Second of all, if I told y'all before, I am not messing with water. I'm not messing with the spirit of water.
Stanley Ogilvie said it was in Missouri.
Okay, so in Missouri, so you got all these people that died. I'm not going in nobody's boat if I don't know how to goddamn swim, for one. For two, why would you go on a duck boat not knowing that you need to have life jackets just in case something like that happens, okay? And then, another thing. Most of us know how to tell when it's going to rain.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us have a natural intuition. You can smell it in the air or you can see it.
But you know what? A lot of people don't look up nowadays. I noticed that people they keep their eyes straight ahead or on their phones. They never look up anymore.
Yeah, well, their asses better start looking up, goddammit, because you don't know if y'all didn't see that, whatever they said it was, which I say it was some type of military weapon that was thrown down into the water. Y'all heard about that, right? So my thing is, your asses should be looking up every chance you get. I'm looking up at the sky, okay? But them poor people died, and what's sad about it is that that's the second incident I heard. And I know you're on here, Latrell, and you talked about your cousin, not your cousin, somebody you knew that actually died in a boat explosion not too long ago in the islands. And they were all black, okay?
They're talking about what Wunam is referring to is, what was it, last week they say a asteroid flew into the Atlantic Ocean, I think, and the government officials went over there to check it out. But what she's saying, she spiritually see it wasn't an asteroid, it was something else. It was a weapon, but it wasn't an asteroid.
Exactly.
They're telling people it's an asteroid, but it's not, because certain people are running their mouth trying to check other nations. We ain't gonna say who it is.
Now, peace and blessings to Renee and Freeman who just joined. All right, so now let me just say this to y'all. First of all, pay attention to what's going on, okay? If you all, I don't know, I think I seen an article the other day where they were talking about if anything that goes down is supposed to be some problems brewing with China, that is going to be cyber. Now, I told y'all when I did 2018 predictions that if we do have any type of war with any country, it's going to be a cyber war, cyber attack.
And you said that in 2017 too.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember,
so
y'all.
You said it,
So, I see that, it's nothing physical we have to worry about, but technology-wise, yeah. Cyber attack, attacking, all your technology. That's what I see. And then they have an article the other day talking about it and saying that Russia, China has been attacking us cyberly anyway all this time already. Okay? Now, for those who are interested in African traditional healing, y'all know what we do. And Spirit told me to do this show because those who are embarking on the path of the indigenous ways, of the cultural way of life, and getting ready to get into the traditions, it's very important that you know how to construct rituals the proper way in order to get effective results. You want to add to that?
Just what I would like to add to it, if you're doing rituals to spirit, you got to know what the spirit likes. And if you can't see and ask the spirit what it wants, it's best to ask somebody that deals with the spirits, or go do your research. You may be wrong, you may be right. I know with the Cuban pantheon and the African pantheon, it's different. They say it's the same, but sometimes the Cubans they say the African spirits don't like this, but in Africa, they do like the things the Cubans say they don't like. So I would just suggest that whatever you decide to do when it comes to constructing rituals to spirit or giving an offering to spirit, that you know what you're doing and do the proper research. And as far as doing root work, when I mean root work, I mean dealing with herbs and stuff like that. You want to know what the plant you're dealing with or the herb that you're dealing with, what characteristics it has, so you can construct your ritual the right way.
Well, first of all, let's start with what is a ritual? What is a spell? What is, So when we speak of rituals, family, we got to understand rituals are basically offerings that you're giving to spirits. We have many, many spirits. As said in Africa, African proverb, everywhere there's sky, there's spirit. So you have many, many spirits. Even for Christians, your spirit is your God or your Jehovah or your Allah, or whatever you call it. That's the spirit. So, you have a way of giving an offering to your Christian spirits, as we get a way of giving our offerings to our African traditional spirits. Basically, being indigenous to the lands means that you're interconnected with all of the spirits. Like I said, everywhere there's sky, there's spirit. A tree has a spirit. A bird, an animal, all animals have spirits. You see? So actually, when you understand African traditions, you understand being indigenous to the land and using everything on the land, including the elements, to perform your rituals, okay? And sometimes a little bit more. Sometimes some traditions use animals as sacrifices, and they use animals because animals, the blood of the animal is the life source, as your blood is the life source of you, okay? So when we understand how many different, and let me just say this, many different pantheons use different things. And root work, like he says, they use a lot of herbs and a lot of candles, or, and some of them deal with more strategic, I would say maybe 1/8 of African, traditions. Like some of the hoodoo practitioners do use snakes. Okay, they have snake gods that they use. They do use snakes. So that's just an example. But when we're dealing with traditions and African traditions, you have to understand how it works, because a lot of people misunderstand how this works. And then you get people that want to call you, oh, well, how come this ain't working? How come that ain't working? And not us per se, but I hear this all the time when I deal with my other sisters and brothers that are practitioners, priestess, whatever they choose to call themselves, babalas, babas, or whatever. What we have to understand, family, is that the most important thing you want to do is always divine or read, or however you read, whether you read with cowrie shells, whether you read with cards, whether you read with clairvoyance, whatever you want to call it, always read the situation. A lot of times we don't take time to read situations in depth. So when you don't read situations in depth, you construct a ritual that is not going to be as successful as you want it to be for that client, okay? Now, with saying that, many rituals are performed. I can't even go through the list on my hands and toes and everybody on this show how many rituals have been created and performed by many, many practitioners all over the world, okay? A lot of them give offerings, okay? Now, when you're constructing a ritual, make sure you read. Once you read your client, and we're going to give you an example. Client comes to you, says, you know what? Me and this guy been dating for about 2 years. And, I'm ready for us to tie the knot and get married. But, he's scared. I want to do a ritual to take him against his will. Okay? They don't say that, but they tell you they want to make him marry them. You know what I mean? And I'll be like, okay. And then I'll say, well, let me read this first. I'm not doing your ritual until I read it. Because our number one covenant is we don't take anybody against their will. So now I read it. Now, this man, I'm giving y'all a sample here. This man, okay, he loves you, but he's not ready. He got a lot of emotional distresses he's dealing with. This man got issues. He got mommy issues and women issues. So the reason why this man is not marrying you is because he needs some healing. So before we even construct this ritual, hey, my sister Alexis, hey, Alexis, before we even construct this ritual, we need to do some healing for him. Now, we get some customers that come, well, I don't care. I just want him to marry me tomorrow. And
And we also get some customers, they say that they're dating this person. And she'll read the situation. And the man, she's his side chick. And some women are admit to it and some of them don't. I mean,
But what they don't realize, if you can see, you'll see that he's side chick. I got a lot of women like that. I had one woman that come in the store and she said, well, I want to get with this man. I want you to do rituals so I can get with him. And and I'm looking at this woman, but a couple of months ago, you came and asked me to do a ritual to stop your husband from cheating. But now you want me to do a ritual so you can get with this man that you're cheating on your husband with. When I tell y'all, some characters come in that store, and not even just the store, even before I had the store, you know what I mean? It was just like characters, people they want overnight results, okay? Let me explain something to y'all. You don't want to construct a ritual if you're not going to do it right. If I tell you, and you're reading, well, you know what, yeah, the man loves you, but he's not ready to get married. Don't ask to get a ritual, because a lot of times people will take your money, and they'll say, okay, I'll do the ritual, and then you coming back. And I got a lady, this perfect example, I got a client right now. She went to some lady, paid over $1,000, still didn't get married yet. Right? When they want to come to you and do you down, do your prices down. You don't pay $1,000 to get a ritual done. It ain't working. You know why it ain't working? Because at the end of the day, the person who took your money didn't tell you that this man needed some healing. He wasn't ready to get married. And he may not even be your goddamn husband. You see what I'm saying? So when you're constructing your rituals, you always want to read, always read first.
Yeah. And not only that like if you're doing a ritual to harm somebody, you gotta be careful with that because that'll get you hurt too, especially if the person is innocent.
Okay, now let's talk about doing rituals to harm some. Now we do believe in divine justice. That means if you're trying to do something unrighteous ritualistically, then by all means, I have to send that energy back to you. Now, I do have the option of taking a wooden doll and breaking your legs, but no, why would I do that? That means that I'm no different than you, because what I'm doing is I'm actually trying to cause you harm. I don't intend to cause you harm, never did. But if you're trying to cause me harm, then I have to return that energy back to you many different ways, whether you use spirits, whether you use hoodoo work, whether you use Wiccan, or whatever you want to call it.
And trust me, when she break that door legs, your legs are going to break. You can think it's a game if you want to.
But what I'm saying is, when you are true and righteous about your spirituality, when you're in, and especially I can speak for African indigenous ways. That's not to say over in Africa they don't have no, crazy people that do evil. It's in everything. But for the most part, your traditional practices are done the right way. A lot of people want to run back to the African brothers and sisters because it began there, first of all, and they got some powerful stuff, okay? So a lot of times, if you see that a lot of African traditional healers, their rituals actually work quicker or faster, is because they're constructing them properly. And see, a lot of times when you do rituals, you got to remember, there's so many different aspects to rituals. There's, I say, the basic, and then there's the medium, and then there's the high level ritual where sometime, example, y'all, you might get a person who has health problems, okay? Maybe they just say they have cancer. So this person has cancer. And again, remember, always divine first. Because when it comes to one thing, nobody has more power than the spirit of the ancestors, okay? So with saying that, when you read it, you go, whether you divine, however you read, and that spirit says, you know what, this person, it's their time. You have no control. I don't care how many rituals you think you could do. I don't care how many cows, chickens, or goats you think you're going to sacrifice. If it's that person's time, it's their time. Leave your hands out of it. Leave your hands out of it. However, okay, if you read that and it says that that person basically neglected his health and he got cancer, or maybe they just didn't have knowledge, and it's not their time, then you can intervene. Sometimes, depending on, like a lot of times if I get patients like that, depending on how severe it is, sometimes you may have to do an offering of a fowl, which is a chicken, or a goat on behalf of that person so the ancestors or that spirit can work to heal them. Okay? So those are the type of rituals where you always want to read, where it may call for you to do a sacrifice, because what you're doing is saying, okay, I offer you, Babalua, this goat to help heal a human being. Okay? What you want to say? Because I see you.
Oh, no, I was just reading the comments. Stanley Ogilvy said hi. Long time no see or something.
Peace and blessings. So we're saying that when you are constructing your rituals, also too, a lot of times, we automatically think that, you automatically have to go get a chicken or a goat or a cow or whatever. Sometimes it don't call for that. Sometimes rituals don't call for that. This is why a lot of times people say, well, and even with Ifa. Now, I don't deal with Ifa. I deal with Akana, I deal with Frutista. But at the end of the day, think about it. A lot of times you can give an offering and that spirit may not work. And that spirit may not work because you didn't read the situation in depth. Or the spirit wants something else. Or the deity, if you want to call it, or the Orisa may want something else. So the Orisa say, well, you know what? Yeah, you gave me the chicken, but I want this, okay? Now, we're saying that, family, again, it's very important to construct your rituals properly. And one of the things you have to understand, when you do what you have to do, when you're reading it right, and you're doing what's righteous, not just for the money, okay? Because some people, I didn't have people that come to me. I had one girl, this lady charged her $15,000, y'all, to do a love ritual. $15,000. And she happened to be a Wiccan. She was a white woman. She was a Wiccan. And the girl was black from Trinidad. Charged her $15,000 to do a ritual. And it didn't work. And when the girl called and told the woman, well, it didn't work and I paid you all this money, guess what happened? The woman threatened her and told her she was going to send demons at her. Yeah, real talk, family. So somebody referred her to me and I said, okay. So I said, give me the woman's number. I called up. I said, you going to send demons at her? Because what happened is the ancestors sent her to me to help her the righteous way, okay? But this woman played on the fact that this girl didn't have knowledge of spiritual work, so she played on the fact and took her money. Not only that, she had a young son. But also that's the girl's karma, because what you shouldn't have did, you shouldn't have gave goddamn $15,000 trying to get no goddamn man. You know what I mean? That's your fault. However, these are the things that you have to understand, because people will construct rituals and they don't give a damn. They're going to take your money. They will take your whole life savings. And your ritual still don't come to pass.
Yeah.
Okay? Go ahead.
And they'll lie and tell you this person. They won't tell you no information about the person. They won't even tell the person that this person does rituals itself sometimes. And these practitioners thinking they're working on a regular person, and because they don't read it, and then this person end up seeing the ritual done and end up hurting them. So, and then sometimes people have spirits around that are real powerful to work on their behalf, and that person end up getting hurt. So y'all have to be very, very careful when you're dealing with this spiritual work, because it's not a game and it's not a joke. And I've seen a lot of people get hurt doing that. So always, Wunam is right. Always read it. Always. I don't care if they crying. I don't care if it's a close person of yours, personal friend of yours. And then if you read it and you see that you can't see it, have another person that reads better than you read it, or somebody that reads at least as good as you read it. Don't tell them the situation. Just let them read it for themselves. And then I would go with, I would try to get at least 3 confirmations before I even put my hand in it.
And some people, okay, let me go back to what I said. Some people say, well, how come the ritual didn't work? Well, for one, number one is depending on the practitioner you're dealing with, okay? Number 2, because it's not constructed the right way. And number 3, it was constructed with unrighteousness in the first place.
Ill intent.
Right? With ill intent, like Brother Adinkra just said. So a lot of times when people ask, well, my ritual didn't work. Number 4 is basically because sometimes the situation may not be conducive to where ancestors and spirit want to take you. And a lot of times in the physical world, we want to control shit, and we ain't controlling nothing down here, goddammit. Having Mother Nature showed y'all, we don't control nothing here. Okay? So with saying that, family, you got to understand, sometimes they don't work. Okay? Sometimes, like I did a ritual last week. Actually, I did a couple of rituals like last week. No, the next day, we got results. But I'm gonna share this with the ones who do ritual work. As I told you before, and even back home in Africa, water is the most powerful element right now to construct your rituals with. Water. When I tell y'all I did that ritual, the next day got complete results. The next day. Okay? Water. Used to be blood. And like, a lot of times, it's not a need to sacrifice a chicken unless it's a serious situation. Like I said, hell, or someone going to jail because they was accused of something they didn't do. Those things call for blood. And pretty soon they won't, okay? But with saying that, somebody got a question over here? Hold on.
Y'all got a question on YouTube?
Nick and niece, sometimes you can focus your intention. Sometimes that ritual won't manifest. And it won't manifest because you haven't taken the time to read the situation. And then you ask yourself why. Sometimes the ancestors have other plans for you. And I get this all the time. People come and say, oh, I want this man, I want this man, I want to. Okay. I've had people, maybe 2 or 3 people that came to me and I told them, this is not the situation. Well, I want to pay you just to see if it'll work and this and that. You don't get the results you want. I told you that's not the one for you. Then what happens is you're wondering why your manifestation is not coming into fruition. And it's not because that person is not for you. And we have to remember, we have what we call the divine records. And in the divine records is your life story. Your life is written. How everything is going to go for you.
Tiger Divine says, have you heard of the 2-cup method?
Yeah, I heard of the 2-cup method. What about it? Tiger Divine. All right, family. So we're saying that, see, there's laws that one must
they ain't
follow.
Talking about that.
Huh?
Well, I don't know. I hope that ain't the one I'm thinking about.
There's laws of what? Go ahead, say it. What you thinking about?
Nah, because I remember they had this thing on I think it was Facebook a long time ago called the 2-cup, and they was putting feces in the cup or something like that. I wonder if that what she talking about.
Ask her.
Oh, it say you can use water. Okay, because I seen something like that too. She said you can use it using water.
You're talking about the one where you actually pray over the water, put your intention into that water with paper, and then you pour to get rid of it. I've heard of the 2-cup method, but we're talking about a little bit on a higher level where, as before, we would use a chicken or a goat. Now you could use water because it's just as powerful. Okay?
Make it happen.
It makes it happen. You're giving the offering of blood to a certain spirit. And this spirit is taking this blood offering because that is the life source to help to work on behalf of another human being. So that's why a lot of times, to explain it clearly, in Africa, people don't understand. First of all, in Africa, it's done the civilized way. We don't never want to understand that everybody, they sacrifice good chickens. They sacrifice goats. Well, they sacrifice goddamn chickens and goats every day here. You eat fried chicken wings, buffalo wings, chicken breast, Popeyes, turkeys. You eat goat and everything else. They do it the uncivilized way. When you're actually giving an offering of a chicken or a cow or a goat to these spirits to work on your behalf, every part of that animal is used, okay? Every part, whether it's the skin of the cow for leather, whether it's to eat it, whatever, it's used, okay? And before it is given, it is automatically talked to by the traditional healer to ask its permission to give its life on behalf of someone else, okay? Can you explain the initiation process? Explain the initiation process. Samim asked that question.
Okay. Basically, when you come to us for initiation, what we do is we divine on it and see if you're supposed to be doing this type of work, because not everybody's supposed to be a traditional healer. If we divine on it and we see you're supposed to be doing it, then we have three initiation phases where you get the basic. The first one you get initiated, and then you pay your fee, and then after that you come for the next, I don't know, was it 3 years?
It's over 6 years.
Yeah, over 6
years. So getting
years.
initiated is just not a 1-year process. Not with Wunam Sacred Society. Because what it is just like if you was back home in Africa, you would have many, many years of training or initiation process to go through. And that's the way we do ours. But your first initiation is basically ancestor worship and being initiated with the ancestor worship. Second will begin a shrine of Watra, okay? And then the third is the highest level where we go over to Africa, okay? To get initiated into higher magical realm, okay? So we're saying that There's 3 levels over a 6-year period. Okay, Sammy?
Kithra Miller says, can you give us an example of using the water and how important and powerful it can be?
Well, I'll give you a very big example. First of all, this earth is 75% water. Our bodies is 75% water. Our brain is 95% water, and our blood is 83% water. How powerful is you? You're a human being, right? So we're saying that water is the most powerful element on this planet. Now you got 5 elements, but you all know the main 4. The main 4 is what? Air, water, earth, fire. But water is the most powerful. If you all know, this planet actually used to be all water before it became the earth. It was called Tiamat, okay, or Tiamat. So we're saying that when you're constructing any ritual, a lot of times, depending on what tradition you use, you know, sometimes you'll see a spit rum on a, you know, petition, or spit rum on whatever ritual you're doing. Now you can use water, okay? You should always pray over your water, okay?
Yeah.
Pray over your water for a good 15 minutes. So, and depending on what you're doing, like if you explain like a hoodoo ritual you're doing, you can explain something like that. You can use water. I always say consecrated with water because it's powerful.
Yeah.
Okay? So depending on what kind of ritual you're doing, if it requires anything liquid, use water.
And I've also heard them say that water also is like another representation of spiritual realm. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I just know that like you said, water is a powerful force right now. So
very powerful force. If you don't believe me, family, when you get in the shower, talk to the water. When it's raining outside, ask the spirit of the rain to let up and see how it lets up. That's how powerful it is, and that's how connected you should be. Because when you walk out that door, if you say, "Can you let up, spirit of the rain?" you won't see the power of water. Okay. Now, I know y'all heard of different scientific studies that have been done with water, how the vibration can be changed in water. So just imagine, now because we're in the age of Aquarius, which is the water bearer, we're going to see more rain. I told you all this. We're going to see a lot more water coming about. Water is going to be the most powerful element to use right now.
I remember, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, I was watching a show with you. You always have me watching these. Wunam has me watching these scientific shows, and she always had me watching African movies. So, but in this show we was watching, they took 2 cups of water and they put a speaker to each thing of water, 2 buckets of water. I mean, and in one speaker, they played positive. They would play back positive things to the water, and then in the other one, they would play back negative things. And they said what happened was that the water, they changed the formation of the water under the microscope so drastically that they was amazed by it.
You see? Now, Parker Hilson says, I done love spells. Okay, come on now. Parker Hilson, let me explain something to you. We have to be very careful when doing love spells. And I know y'all heard about this before. y'all heard about it. You want to do love spells to take somebody against their will. Stop doing that shit. Why would you want false love? I know I don't want false love. I don't want nobody who I had to make love me. Come on now. So, you know, the only time it's good to do love rituals is when the only time I do them for any customers is if that woman and that man, after I read it, say they want to be together. And you should get permission of both. You should get permission of both of them. You shouldn't do it without the other. And say that they feel like they're drifting apart for whatever reason. Now, once I read it, it could be that they're supposed to be separated. I'll tell them, I'll let them know. But if not, and they want to enhance the love that they had, okay, when they first got together, then it's okay to do a love spell. You can do a love spell to, bring that spark back into your one-ship, okay? Into your marriage. It's okay. But most people do love spells because of their own goddamn selfish reasons.
Yeah.
Because you want that man and you want that woman, so I'm going to do a spell on her. Let me tell you something. That backfires on your asses. Y'all better be careful with that.
I know women like I said before, I know women that have done love spells to get a man because they want the man so bad, and when they get the man, they don't realize the man kind of crazy, and he end up beating on them and stuff like that, and then he don't want to leave, and you can't get him to leave. And it takes, when you take somebody against their will, it's twice as hard to make them leave with rituals because you're learning a spiritual lesson.
Let me correct Parker Hilson. General love spells harm no one. That's a damn lie. That's a damn lie. If that's the case and they don't harm, then why are you doing a love spell in the first place? What's the okay? If you don't have, okay, let me put it this way. If you feel like it's not going to harm the person, then what the hell are you doing? I mean, if you feel like the person is okay to hurt, come on now with that bullshit. Come on now, come on.
What do you mean? What do you mean by general? What do you mean by general love spell?
Harm no one. General love spell makes somebody to goddamn love.
What do you mean? Like you just do a general love spell? Like say you do a love spell to attract love, or do you do a general love spell to take somebody? What do you mean by that? General.
Explain yourself. I use archetypes. That's what he said to you.
Tiger Divine. They say they've been posting a lot of those videos on YouTube lately. The 2 cup.
Yeah, I seen that Tiger Divine.
I haven't seen it.
Parker Hilson. Okay. Yes, this is the hell I need to love. So let me explain something to you.
What's up, sis?
Only time I would say to do a love spell again is if you want to enhance the love that you have with somebody already. You don't want to take nobody against their will. That's unrighteous. I'm sorry. I don't care how you say what you say. I don't care who do what. That's unrighteous. And again, why would you want fake love? Now, I could say do a love spell. If you're a single person and you want love to come into your life, you can do a love spell too with that. So, you know what? I would love to have a good man or a good woman come into my life. So, that's one way you could perform a love spell. You know what I mean? To attract. Okay, well, that makes sense.
Be very specific when you do those type of love spells, huh?
Right. Do very specific when you do stuff to attract love, okay?
You might not ask for everything that you want, and it's going to be a bad situation.
But let me explain something to you. When you do love spells, like Brother Dinkle just said, be very specific. But don't ask for love if you ain't loving yourself. Do not ask for love if you are not ready for it. Because I've seen that too.
Preach, goddammit.
So, if you are not ready for love in your life, don't be sitting up there burning candles and praying to the candle, praying to the water. Oh, I want this man, I want that woman in my life. If you are not ready and if you are not healed. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to bring no extra baggage, no emotional distresses, nothing to a man or woman that you done did a love spell for to bring to you, knowing your goddamn ass ain't gonna love them back. I'm just being real, y'all. Okay. Okay, Lex Lou says, are spells taught, written, or do people actually put love spells on people? There's spells that are taught, there's spells that are written, but in African tradition, the biggest, and I don't like to use the word spells because it's a wicked word to me. That's Western terminology. We deal with rituals, okay? So what I say is the most powerful ritual that you can do is the one you create yourself. Okay? That will be the most powerful and effective ritual. And then, of course, we have other rituals that we do at high level magic where we're doing the offerings to spirits that work on our behalf We don't got to do a goddamn thing. All you do is give your spirit the offering, the spirit go work for you. Okay?
True.
But when you're constructing rituals, whether you're using herbs or water, liquor, whatever you choose to use, candles or whatever, the most powerful one is the one that you create, not one that's written that they tell you how to do it or they tell you how, because it's not to say that they won't be effective, but they won't be more effective than what you hear in your spirit and spirit tells you to do when you're performing your ritual for whatever reason, okay? Now, do people accidentally put love spells on people?
I don't know. How can you be an accident?
Well, it can be an accident because we also have to realize that as well as you can perform physical rituals, you can perform mental rituals. And with saying that, you can desire or focus or put your intention on the person so much that you actually begin to draw them to you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to really be technical about it, yes, you can do mental rituals. Okay? Which you can actually do that if someone's not even thinking about your ass and you're taking their picture and you're looking at them and you're just lusting after them and envisioning them and putting that energy out into the universe. You can accidentally, I wouldn't call it a love spell.
I still wouldn't call that accident because you.
Well, yeah, because you shouldn't be focused on that damn person. If he's supposed to be with you, he's gonna be with you. So I would say you can do it by accident because you basically, again, taking someone against their will without them. They ain't even think about your ass because you chose to focus on their pictures and think about them and envision them and imagine and put them in your dreams and everything else.
And do know what else with the damn pictures. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Okay.
It's wild.
Any questions on that side?
Nah, I ain't getting no questions from YouTube. Y'all quiet tonight.
Well, Lex Lou says, can anything be a spell or do you say specific thing? Answer that.
Yeah, you can say certain things. You don't even have to say them aloud. You can say these things in your mind. So anything could be a spell. You can, just like we talk and we say, well, I can't do this and this is hard. Those are spell words and curses you putting on yourself. So just like you can curse yourself and not know it, you can do certain, spells like that also.
Trick. But anyway, that's a trick one. Okay. Like anything can be a spell or do you say specific thing? Well, I mean, I don't like to deal with the Western terminology. I'm always going to be an African first. I'm sorry. I don't care what nobody say. Okay? I'm always going to be an African first. I don't deal with spells. I mean, and basically because when we don't understand the true history but behind rituals and being indigenous to the land, let me say it 3 times, indigenous, knowing that you're connected with all the forces and energies of nature. You understand? Spells is pretty much what you see in the Wiccan world. Oh, Harry Potter spells, I'm going to put a spell on you. No. We take our tradition very serious.
Mm-hmm.
And when we speak of being traditional, I don't like to use the word spells. We don't use incantations and stuff like that. If you do, that's what you choose to do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it can work. Sometimes I've seen it work. It depends on the person and how strong and powerful their Ashe or Inyama is. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go back. Now our spells taught. Okay? So Francis says, how do you create a love spell?
Whatever your heart desires, whatever you want to do, you can do. You can put a love spell on a person just by having sex with them.
I think she's asking, she wants to do a love spell. So Francis, let me answer your question. Any of my customers that come to me and ask me, and they're single, I did have a guy, had a Caucasian male come in the store and he wanted to do a love spell to attract love in his life, attract a woman. And he bought a love candle. So there's many different ways you could do it. Okay. One of the ways is getting a candle. Okay. And a piece of paper, parchment paper. And I'm just giving y'all basic rituals because a lot of y'all don't deal with the level of tradition we deal with.
Yeah.
And I recommend writing down on a piece of paper the type of man you want in your life. Be specific.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Be specific of what type of man you want. I mean, down to the eye color, to what kind of job, to maybe not too many baby mamas, whatever it may be. Okay? And then what you should do is when you get the figure candle of this man, it should be a red candle. You should be explaining this because you the hoodoo man. Okay? I would say put your favorite fragrance on there. Whatever perfume you use or oil you use. Okay? And then what I would say is burn that candle on top of the paper. Write everything down that you want from a man. And burn that candle on top of the paper. Okay? You want to finish that off?
That's a good ritual, but like if I was to do a ritual like that for a client, I probably wouldn't do a spell. I would just use a spirit because a spirit would be more effective than using a spell or a ritual like that.
Well, I mean, if a person doesn't have a spirit, I mean, you're telling them
talking about like a regular person,
like a regular person, like Francis is asking, what can she do? She wants love in her life. So if she wants love in her life, what can she do to attract love in her life?
Yeah, I would do everything you said, but I probably wouldn't use parchment paper. I would probably use a brown paper bag like that or something.
Well, they could use either or, but parchment paper is real lambskin.
Yeah, because everybody like parchment paper, but you don't have to buy parchment paper. You know, you could use stuff around the house.
Mm-hmm. All right. A figure candle's good. A figure candle. A red figure candle.
Of a man.
Of a man. Okay? Imagine it like it's real. Parker Hilson, you telling that to Francis? Imagine it like it's real. Well, she's just putting it out in the universe that she wants this type of man in her life. So basically, by burning the candle, she's using the candle as this man that she's actually envisioning to come in her life. Once the candle burns down and it burns in that paper, my suggestion is take it and bury it by a tree. Okay? He's my brother. He don't want to tell me.
Huh?
She said, he's my brother. He don't want to tell me.
Who didn't want to tell you?
She just said, your sister said, he's my brother. He don't want to tell me.
Oh, no, it ain't that. It's just, I don't know, love rituals, I don't really tell people how to do them because I see so many people use them for the wrong reason, and we got other people other than you know, watching. It's nothing personal, sis.
Okay.
Tiger Divine says, I know a woman on YouTube that calls herself a witch, and she puts love spells on her husband so he can pay the bills, take care of his fam and other shit. When he slips up, she says she does it again. But that's her husband. I mean, I don't know what you want him. Like, he should pay the bills. I mean, you know, unless she got money to pay him herself. I don't know.
Well, see, the thing about it is that, okay, so this is the thing. Again, it always comes back to always read first. Now, we don't know the whole story. How you know her husband ain't a lazy bum and he just don't want to pay the bills?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He could be a lazy bum. He don't want to pay the bills.
Because it's men like that.
There's men like that. So there's some exceptions to the rules, okay? As a matter of fact, I got a client right now. We don't mention the names. We don't tell clients' business, but she's dealing with that. Her husband got a lot of money. He owns businesses. He comes home. He ain't paying her money. She needed us to do a ritual to make him give her money. Now, she's working 2 jobs.
And he won't pay no bills in the house, and he got companies.
Right. Won't pay no bills in the house, won't do nothing. So guess what? There's an exception to the rule.
Yeah.
You're damn right. You're going to pay some bills up in this house. So at the end of the day, I have to do a ritual for you to do what you have to do. I'm going to do what I got to do. She's not harming him, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's not. Now, if she was doing something to mess him up or something, that'd be wrong. So she would get karma for that, but I don't know about that. I mean,
right. I mean, she shouldn't do that anyway. If your husband, you love him, you ain't trying to do no rituals to harm your husband. That's just as simple as that. Shit. That's bullshit. Okay? I think I have something on this guy, and I want him to be free. And let me be free. What should I do?
Did you put a spell on? Did you do work on him to get him? That's why I'm saying, like, when you do work to get a man, it's hard to get rid of him. And vice versa. It's hard for a man that does a ritual on a woman, it's hard for him to get rid of that woman. So y'all, I'm telling y'all gotta be careful with these rituals.
Lex Lou, Spirit telling me you're not being honest. You did something to that man, didn't you? You didn't do that. You did something to that man. Now, Spirit is showing me. I'm gonna say this. See, let me explain something to y'all. When I do certain rituals for people in African traditions, we use a lot of wooden dolls, right? And a lot of times when couples come to me and they want their loving hands, I actually keep the dolls because something may happen. They might decide they don't want to be together.
Which happens a lot. People change their mind.
All right, people change their mind.
They go back and forth.
And then they go back and forth. So what I do is I take the dolls apart, and then to get rid of one, I take it and throw it far in the river somewhere. Okay? Now, okay, you said, no, I didn't do spells, but maybe I did because I'm not clear of what they are. Okay, what exactly did you do? What do you feel that you did to him to make him come to you, Lex Lou? Tell me what you feel that you did.
Daniela Dominique says, greeting. I was wondering, how did you get started reading tarot cards?
I don't read tarot cards. Brother Adinkra reads tarot cards. I'm a clairvoyant in Western terminology, and I'm a seer in African traditions. I do divination. I can read with water, fire, and I can read with divination mat and sand. But I guess you can answer that question. How did you get this?
I just read it. I just realized what she said. I just picked up the cards. You know, the cards come with a book. I started reading them. And actually, it's funny because when I started really, really reading them, Spirit was telling me, the Spirit started talking to me and telling me stuff. Not only I read with cards, but I also am, I ain't gonna say clairvoyant yet, but I do see.
Yes, he is. He could see y'all. He be lying.
I do see people doing ritual work and stuff like that. The Spirits talk to me. Huh?
Hanging around me. I rubbed off on him, y'all.
Yeah, maybe she rubbed off on me.
I can't be making him read all the time, y'all.
But she reads so well, I be kind of lazy. She tries to make me stop being so lazy with the cards because she reads so well. I be like, baby, read that. You know, but.
Yeah, but the point is, y'all, he can see too. He don't really need them damn tarot cards.
And it's funny because I be seeing people in my family doing rituals. But I ain't gonna say no names, but it's all good.
Well, family doing rituals, at the end of the day, if you're going to do rituals, you do rituals for righteousness. For righteousness, family. Okay? Any more questions? Y'all, before we get off of here? Y'all got any more questions? We were talking about rituals and constructing a ritual the proper way. You know what I mean?
Not you, sis. Not you.
But anyway, if y'all have any more questions, y'all better ask away because we're about to get off of here. Y'all up late tonight. Who ain't got to go to work? Who ain't got to go to the plantation tomorrow? Y'all ain't got to go to the plantation? Cause I know I'm tired as hell. Love y'all. Love you, Francis. Have a good night.
Tiger Divine says, bye, sis. Tiger Divine says, I missed the video Nikki made about keeping your pants ritual. What does that do? Do that make a man not want to sleep with women?
You ain't missed nothing. The video is on the front of my Facebook page.
All you got to do is watch it.
Watch it. Watch it. Okay? Now, any questions from Facebook? Any questions from Facebook, y'all? Any questions?
I ain't got nothing on YouTube yet. Y'all got any questions on YouTube? Oh, did you see what's his name? Tekashi 69. You seen that?
I heard about that.
I'm surprised y'all haven't asked us about that YouTube. It was very interesting.
Okay, let's go back to Facebook. See, Facebook says, can I do a ritual for success in business? Freeman,
Yes.
highly recommended. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And we can give you some basic rituals. You know, what you can do is, what you do is write the name of your business on a piece of paper. Okay? You can get a brown paper bag. Write your name of the business on a piece of paper. What?
No, I'm listening. Nah, because somebody asked a question, but I was waiting for you to finish.
Okay, piece of paper and the name of your business. And then what I recommend that you do is get a bowl of water and pray over that water, what you want your business to do, how successful you want it to be. Leave that paper in the water for 3 days under your bed. If you cannot put it under your bed, put it in a dark place like the closet or under your bathroom sink. Okay? But write everything you want for your business on that brown paper bag, and preferably use black ink or black marker. Okay? And then once you put it in the water, begin to pray over that water. And you want to pray over that water for like 15 minutes. Just, I want my business to prosper. I want my business to get more clients. I want my business, you know what I mean? So do that, okay? All right. Last question.
Tiger Divine says, is that true about Tekashi?
Well, ironically, you asked because last night Brother Adinkra brought it to my attention. I seen the picture, and when I said, well, let me read it and see what really happened. So what I do see is, I asked Brother Adinkra, I said, was he a part of a gang?
And I said yes.
Yeah. So I see some type of initiation that was taking place, and they added the extra on about the robbery and this and that and this and that going on. You know what I mean? That's what I see.
And so what that tells me, he wasn't initially a blood, and that night he probably got blooded in, and they just did that to add up, make people talk about him. No publicity is bad publicity.
Doesn't he have a new record out or something like that with somebody?
Yeah.
There you go. There you have it. So now, I don't see it was...
Have you ever seen somebody get pistol whipped? A pistol is going to split all of this open. You ain't going to have bruises. You're going to have cuts. You may have you might have fractured bones in your face. Pistol whipping ain't going to do that. Believe that.
That's right. All right. All right. Okay, Lex Lou, what are you saying? Me. You'll be the last question of the night. We got a few minutes left. Come on with it. A few minutes left. Exactly. And he has a CD dropping. Exactly, Freeman. That's what I seen. It's like you have a CD dropping, publicity. Oh, Tekashi 69 got his ass whooped. Okay, whatever.
And then like a lot of kids like his stuff, so they probably like, oh, I feel sorry for him. Let me go listen
to his music. Exactly. Perfect publicity stunt.
Because he doesn't care what he does or what he says. He doesn't care.
Don't care at all.
And probably that makes a lot of people be like, okay, good. I'm glad something happened to him. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's crazy. Oh, shout out to Chaos. I got your Ogun piece right here. I don't know. Can you see that?
All right. All right, family. We're pretty much about to wrap it up here. We want to thank you for tuning in to Spiritually Seeing News. And I hope y'all got some education today. Okay?
Yeah.
And if y'all didn't check out the video, go check out the video on the Facebook page. And on Facebook and on YouTube. Check out the videos. 1, how to keep it in his pants ritual. And then 2, how to block your enemies. How to stop your enemies. 2 videos y'all need to go check out on our Facebook and our YouTube pages, okay?
Daniela Dominique says, I love water for some reason and I don't know why.
What's your sign?
What's your sign?
Are you a water sign? What's your Cancer?
Okay. We'll just give her a few seconds to put something in there. If she doesn't, then we're gonna end this video. You gonna put your answer in there, Daniela?
Is somebody said is Takashi spiritually protected? Partially. He's but let me tell you something about Takashi. He can see he's spiritual. He's what you call, no one, his hair is rainbow. He's really a rainbow child. And y'all know what rainbow children is. If you don't go look it up. But Takashi is spiritual. He can see. But he's young and dumb, and you know, it is what it is.
He's doing stuff for money.
He's not going to embark on his real spiritual path, but I do see that his family deals with some type of spiritual work. And pretty much what I'm seeing is Santeria, okay?
Okay, well, I guess maybe she probably got off here. I don't know.
All right, family.
Anything else you want to add?
I don't want to add nothing else because I'm tired and I'm ready to go to bed. And I've been on here hours. So what we'll do? Go ahead, brother.
So for those of y'all who are on Facebook, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube page, go look up Nicky Love Wunam and subscribe to the channel for us, please. For those of you that are looking for spiritual work or spiritual readings, you can go to www.wunamadinkra.com and you can look at the readings and see which one you want. Or if you need spiritual work, what you do, make sure when you pay for rituals, make sure you leave your contact information so we could call you back or email you and see what kind of ritual you want us to do or reading that you want. After you pay, you give us a call and we'll set up an appointment time for doing your reading and everything else. And for those of you all who watch us and haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe to our video and hit like. And we also sell spiritual tools and spiritual necklaces. So those of who are y'all who want to order any, just let us know.
All right, family. On that note, we're about to get up out of here. Peace and blessings. Feel free to hit us in our inboxes if you want us to talk about something. If you're on YouTube, hit us inbox. Nicky and Adinkra, can y'all talk about such and such and such? If you're on Facebook, same thing. Can y'all talk about such and such and such? But be looking forward because we'll be bringing more videos to you on spirituality. More teaching videos we're going to be bringing to you all. So y'all look out for that on our Patreon page. We'll be bringing more videos, okay?
All right. Yeah, teaching.
All right. All right.